it wasn't going anywhere. None of us were taking any wages. Wasn't really getting any sales. I think was in roughly around about 18 to 20,000 pound in debt. And I rang him and I said, listen, I think our time's up. It had been 2 or 3 years, not really done anything, not really gaining any momentum.
Fantastic to have Adam from CAPO Clothing with us today. Adam, I know it's taken a while for us to get here.
It has.
And we've known each for a while now, so I understand the growth of the brand and where it's come from and where it's going to. Can you give us a little bit of a backstory about the brand and how you got to where you are at the moment?
Yeah. So me and myself, obviously my business partner, Dan Wilkins, I played non-league football, a little brief, so I played non-league football for around about 12 to 13 years. And when I was at Ashton United, we originally met. So we was on a car journey, travelling in. He was from Accrington and I was from Burnley. So he just joined. Anyway, a couple of meeting him. As you do, we started meeting halfway, save us on petrol, driving into Ashton. And just one day, he turned around to me, I believe, so with CAPO's been going now 6-7 years. So he originally said, I've got an idea. And in the car, and I said, well, what's that? As you get to know him, and he told me, he said, I feel like I want to bring out a brand, but I'm not so sure where to start it, who to do it with. I'm just looking, so anyway, just being me, bit nosy, asked him a few questions, and after a couple of conversations, I said, listen, I've got a few quid spare, not much by the way. It was around about £1,500. And he just said, do you want to give it a go? I said, listen, let's do it. I didn't think anything of it, and we. And then, from that car journey, really, on the way home, CAPO was born. So even though we started we originally brought out hats, but that was really the day where we felt like obviously CAPO was kind of born just by driving to football. So that's how we originally met.
I think we hear a lot of stories for businesses and how they start, and it's a very similar story. What then got you into clothing from your hats?
I'd say really taking it back. We made a few designs which I'd love to be able to show you. Yeah. It was absolutely awful. It really was. We originally brought out, I believe, around about 5 to 10 designs of hats. We ended up paying way over the cost we used at the time, not knowing we used a UK market to buy the hats from the UK. We got it for the embroidery. We sent it to a company in Newcastle, They did the embroidery. So we originally started out with, I think it was 5 to 10 designs, like I said, and we just wasn't selling them. So we thought, £1,500 going down the Swan, or can we do something else? And really from that, knowing that we wasn't really going to make massive money on hats, that we probably had to divert into the clothing.
So it's crazy how that your back was against the wall for you to then come into an idea thinking, well, it's a brand and let's expand the brand to clothing. And I know we spoke briefly before we started this, the fact that you're going to get into footwear as well, which on its own is a massive market. What takes you down that route?
So we originally just old school went to Google, put in clothes distribution, whittled it down to a few, got sent to a few. We got some samples sent from Pakistan originally, and we got a tracksuit that come, and brilliant when you look back at the design. It was so plain with just a CAPO logo on, right, literally just above the chest, and we really started from there. Then we got 100 of each tracksuit, grey and black, as you do, not knowing anything, very minimal design. Got our first model, by the way, when we're saying we used to take all the pictures ourselves, all the photo shoots was ourselves, you just cut your head off. And then we originally did that with the 2 tracksuits, and then that kind of, we were selling to friends and family. That's where it all really started from. That's how I think any brand gets going, don't they?
I think so.
Yeah, with the people you know, and because we played in football together, our area of like using the football lads would be quite good for us, even though non-league footballers. And just starting out with that tracksuit with 2 different colours then led us on to still making no money, by the way, reinvesting any extra change came into the business. And then we just went from a different tracksuit, like a polyester tracksuit, absolutely awful when you look back. Brought it out in 5 different colours.
I was going to ask that because how's the quality changed over the years of the clothing from obviously where you were to where you are now? Obviously, I know you try on the tracksuits, whatever, before even everything gets released, so you want to be happy with it. What's changing the quality from where it was, from the first initial tracksuit from Pakistan, let's just say, for example, to where you're at now? What's changed?
Oh, if it wouldn't have changed, basically, there'd be no capo.
No.
It's quite simple as that. Really, it was not knowing. It was not knowing the products, the material. It was not doing no research into it. Again, I'll go back when we originally started with our first 5 or 6 lines. I mean, we have some brilliant stories regarding it when you really look back and realise how far you've come. The quality was everything.
Yeah.
The quality is literally, I'd say to anybody, even thinking about doing it, take your time. The product is key. The product is everything. The biggest decision we ever made was going to China. And I'm not saying it has to be all done in China, but for us in our experience, the defining moment was really sending our first sample to China.
Did that open some more doors for CAPO?
I wouldn't say it opened doors. What it allowed us to do is where the business is at now, is we've maintained that distribution. We now use the same distributions we did, I think it was going back 3 years ago. The products and the materials, everything. And what that does allow is when you start selling, our repeat custom is really, really high. Don't get me wrong, I haven't done research into some of the big brands of what it is, but I'd say everyday sales, we have 25%, 30% is repeat custom. So I'd say that all comes from the product. Yeah,
exactly, and that's the quality of the product, because people like the product and like to wear the product, and obviously it comes down to the quality of what you've got there as a product, and obviously people like it as well at the same time.
They have to do. They have to do, and I also think what is massive is there's 3 factors really, like I've said to yourself, is design, the product, materials, because materials change, and price bracket. You have to. We don't want to go high end because we don't believe. If you're high end, the clothes has to be sustainable. Very good condition, and ours do. But we don't want to. Also, with that, we are CAPO, which you've got to remember.
So on that, the price point, because it is a very demanding market, competitive. What stands you out from the crowd, in essence, where obviously your product, your quality, your style, what stands you out from everybody else?
I'd say we get asked this question quite a lot about, who's your competition? I really honestly mean it. A couple of years ago, we used to look at the brands and go, I'd love to be them. I'd love to be that brand. They do this. Just really concentrate on yourself. We don't really have any competition. The only competition, I know it's so cliche, is really yourself. Is we like to keep the designs quite simple. There's a lot of people now, the day and age, we believe in fashion, that they don't want the big logo. So we try to keep the logo minimal. And being consistent in your drops. We like to sometimes mix it up where we'll go logo is seen on the arm and then you can have it on the chest, but majority, if you look at our range, majority of it is quite simple. Again, I'm not like beating ourselves up a little bit saying we need to be more, basically like branch out there a little bit. We really concentrate on the quality of the product more than anything.
Over the years you've gone through your mistakes and everything else what you've done, and you know what works for you right now. So what actually, because running a business is not easy on its own.
Correct.
What motivates you as an individual to get you to the next level? Because it took a lot of heartache, lost a lot of money, etc. What goes along with running a business to where you are now with your new office, where in Accrington. What motivates you as an individual?
You know what? Very good question. Very, very good question. Building something that you're really proud of. I love to. People now do say, and the CAPO are flying. They're doing this, and this. They must be doing really well because you've got a brand new car. I'd love for them to know what you've just spoke about. Is we just want to try and build something that me and Dan are really, really proud of. And touch wood. over the last 2 years, I think we've moved from Northlight, where it was, I believe, 550 square foot. Then 12 months ago, we moved from a 1,700 square foot warehouse, where we was a little bit scared of moving to, the natural, can we do this? Yeah, we had many conversations. And then we've just moved into 11,000 square foot. So it's like that, I don't really think, I think it's just real, the buzz of people saying we couldn't do it or we can't do it. Yeah. That probably keeps us more motivated, but also, we're just two normal lads. None of us have been given any money.
No.
Just two normal lads, hard working, and I'd say we're very, very hard working. The hours and the days we put in now will show that. And that's probably really has got us to where CAPO's at now, and we really do think that in the next 2 to 3 years we'll be in a warehouse 25,000 square foot. And I have no. I'm saying it now. Hopefully, don't look back in a couple of years ago. I sounded silly on that podcast, but I really do think the drive is what's allowed CAPO to grow. 100%.
I mean, look, also something what you massively touched on there. This podcast is all about looking beyond the business and looking at business owners and where you were, where you are today, but also what's going on in between.
Yeah.
Now, people don't realise what goes on beyond the business. On the face of it, everything looks hunky-dory and fantastic, but they also don't know what's gone on previously. Now, what's happened for yourselves, especially back in the last year, where you had obviously people such as celebrities, should I say?
Yeah.
You got Bobby Firmino from Liverpool, and you got Luca Bish from Love Island who were wearing your pants.
Yeah.
What impact did that have on your business, and where did that propel you to?
Well, it was a strange one with both, but which is crazy now. I don't watch Love Island, by the way.
No.
I put that out there. Yeah, the wife is obsessed. So that night we ended up roughly getting 50 messages just within an hour, saying as are they CAPO's lightweight dark grey? I remember the cargos. Dark grey on Love Island. I'm sure that Luca Bish is wearing them. So as I do, it's probably the only time I've watched it. I had to switch over and see. And he had our pants on. And then, from that, you could tell within the first couple of hours we ended up getting sales. And then when you look at your sales, because you can keep close eye on it, there's the dark grey, lightweight cargo. So it clearly has. It's clearly powerful with what it does. And then when we've clicked onto it, because we don't offer any free products, we don't really use influencers as much as a lot of brands do. Again, because we feel like the product will do the talking. Really, we don't need to. We don't need to send products out to influencers, as again, like I said. We do, especially for content. But so going back to Luca Bish, that was quite a good feeling that, your product is good. And really, I explain this, and we'll come to a story later on where you earn your own luck. You earn your own luck with things. So it's all the hard work's putting behind it when you get your rewards from one of your products being on TV. Yeah. And obviously then Bobby Firmino contacted himself. He contacted us via Instagram. And it's, when you look back as a big football supporter, you think, why would Bobby Firmino contact little Capo? So it's a great feeling and it's nice. And then when we seen Bobby wear it numerous times, he wore it numerous times, some of the clothing. Yeah. Unfortunately, due to their sponsor rights, that they're not really able to kind of tag your brand in, which we understand that. That we understand that's part of it. But it's always nice to be recognised for really the hard work you do put in.
Just following on from your celebrities who's wearing your clothes and it looks fantastic. What are some of the biggest challenges that you've overcome as a business as well?
Yeah,
I'm sure you can tell me some stories from your early days to present.
Yeah, sure can. There was we've had a good few, but I remember talking now probably the first year into the brand. We got sent back to t-shirts. We thought, right, we'll branch out into the t-shirt, really open the product range a little bit from tracksuits, hoodies to t-shirts. And I remember this batch come, and I think was sold to one of my friends. One of my friends came round early and said, can I try one of these t-shirts? And I said, yeah, no problem. Anyways, put it on, and it was embroidered on the t-shirt that had Capo on. And as he's put the t-shirt on, I just noticed where the embroidery was. There was a circle around it. So I said, that's not right. So let me have a look at that. Anyway, my friend went. I don't think he ended up buying one, by the way.
No.
And he left. And I said to the wife that night, I said, let's have a look at these. So I ended up getting all these T-shirts. I ended up 1 or 2. And only the distribution at the time had forgot to take the back off of the embroidery inside the T-shirt. So me and my wife spent 3 days, all weekend, when it's probably supposed to be out going for a meal, at the start, because this was all our money. Anything we got sales on it, kind of, let's try and grow this business. And we ended up spending about 3 days, roughly there was around about 500 T-shirts. And we ended up, each of us, picking off with either tweezers or our hands, taking the back of the embroidery off. So obviously they just see the logo, the embroidery on the T-shirt. Yeah. And I remember at the time, because the product was that bad, some of them that you get wrong, you'd rip the T-shirt. So me and the wife were arguing, what's going on here? Stop ripping the product. And honestly, they're the days really where now you can really look back and you think, that was our first real testing point. We're thinking, are we actually doing this? We've come from, me and Dan have come from a background of football. None of us have done any sort of clothing. So they was really the times where you think, are we very brave here or are we very stupid?
Yeah, I think as well, when you look back, you think about your challenging times and look where you got to now as well at the same time.
Absolutely, yeah.
Was there anything in particular that actually propelled you guys and got you to a certain level?
Yeah, 100%. I really do feel like that the day it all changed was, which is I think is a great story now, which I'll come to, I remember this, so I can't remember the exact date, but it was on either a Tuesday or a Thursday. I only remember this because I just finished football, and I got a Snapchat from a lad I used to play football with many years back called Jack Haggerty. So that's it. And he said to me around about 10:30 at night, 11. He said, "How have you got Barry Ferguson to wear a Capo hoodie on Open Goal?" A podcast.
Rangers legend.
Yeah, Rangers legend. Then he was at Blackburn, and obviously absolute loved up at Rangers. With their fan base, they're quite crazy, aren't they? But so long story short, so we ended up watching. My phone was dinging off, and we wasn't really used to it before. So it was sale after sale after sale after sale, and me and my business partner Dan are going, "What's going on? What have we done something wrong with the advertising? Are we spending over budget by the time these days? Really going back, we're spending £30 a day on advertisement, which is crazy to what we spend now." But so we thought, how has he done that? So as you do, you're looking through him. We've never gifted him a hoodie, and it's Barry Ferguson, by the way. So I'm looking on our phone, and I can't see on Shopify. I can't see no order by Barry Ferguson. Anyway, we don't end up getting found out. But for the next real 3 days, I believe in the 3 days of us, we did around about £10,000 worth of sales in 3 days, and that was all through him wearing a Capo hoodie on a podcast that I believe now what we found out is either his wife had placed the order for him, but luckily for us, which again I think you earn your own luck, that he decided on that day, on that podcast, to throw his Capo hoodie on, which really, if you look back to which we'll probably get to, was really the big turning point in Capo, 100% adamant of it.
And it's such a small thing, in normal, it's a small thing just wearing a
tiny
hoodie. But that actually propel your business. That's
100%. I remember the other story we've got to it, which me and the wife now speak about, and Dan speaks about, and we all close friends. There's only friends and family really know. So around that time, I'd say probably 4 weeks before, I remember this day like it was yesterday. I remember ringing Dan on the phone saying, I think we're in a bit of trouble. It wasn't going anywhere. None of us were taking any wages. Wasn't really getting any sales. I think was in roughly around about £18,000 to £20,000 in debt.
So was this your only job as well?
This wasn't our only job. Dan has always worked. He always had worked at the council. So he had quite a good job at the council, and I was always roughly part time doing odds and sods to make to make a bit of ends meet. And I remember that day I rang him, and I took Franklin, my little boy, to play football. And I rang him and I said, "Listen, I think our time's up." It had been 2 or 3 years, not really done anything, not really gaining any momentum. And Dan, to be fair to him, he said, "Listen, let's hold in. Let's, and I know it sounds like probably people say it, but they do say it, and it's true. I was in the situation. He said, "Listen, let's hold on. Let's give it another 6 months." And then when we've kind of like spoke to each other now, I've asked him loads of times, said, why did you? And I just had a feeling, you know, I just had that feeling. So, and then luckily how it got to, which we'll just explain a little bit. I remember that day when Barry Ferguson did wear the hoodie, we ended up doing around about £10,000 in 3 days. And that money really, because it wasn't coming from anywhere else, we had no more money to put into the business. That allowed us then to get ourselves out a little bit of a debt, and we reinvested that money. And then what then come after that was our first ever cargo pant, which still to this day is one of our best selling products.
Wow.
So that's originally how the shift in CAPO changed 100%. So without him wearing that hoodie, that day on that podcast, there'd be no CAPO.
And that alone is a fantastic story to keep with yourself.
100%.
So just with the brand, where are we going with the brand? What's the future hold for CAPO?
Yeah, so the trajectory we've been on is, I believe, which I've no problem in saying, because you'll know what it's like yourself. It's not people, you know, the figures. So in 2020, that was when Barry Ferguson wore the hoodie. I think we did roughly that year because he wore it around, I believe it was around October time. We did £80,000 worth of sales in 2020. In 2021, we did $500,000. In 2022, we did 1.8 million. And then this year, we're estimated to do 6 to 10 million.
Wow.
I know it's quite a bracket, 6 to 10, but it's just depend off the projector at the minute, where we fully believe the stock levels are at and our advertisements going. We believe that that's like where we're on for this year, and then hopefully next year it'll be the same, you know, kind of 2-3 times where we're kind of growing every year. So who knows where it might be in 5 years' time, or if we'll still have it in 5 years' time.
Yeah.
But I know it's becoming harder. But yeah, where the levels have gone from that 2020 to where we're at now is insane.
I think you get to a certain level and you need to try to maintain that level. And it's not always just trying to keep maintaining that level. And also you're going to have more brands coming out, more product coming out, certain styles coming out, and you've got to get it right. And it's an investment back into the product itself, and then see what comes out of the other end. Is there any other markets that you're thinking of getting into, or do you think you're going to get into very soon?
No, not necessarily. You know, with me and Dan, to be fair, we fully concentrate on. We believe we're in a stronger position as well, i.e., with stock. We've got a lot of stock at the present, which is not bad stock neither. No. You know, you can have dead stock, and we've very, very little on that. But where we feel like we're really becoming strong is our production line is now really arranged for 6 to 9 months, which a lot of the big brands will be further ahead of us than that. Yeah. We believe that we've just tightened everything up at the back end, which, you know, Dan, he deals with all the back, you know, really he's the brains. We always say, like laughing, he's the brains behind the mission and I'm the mouth. Yeah. So yeah, we feel like we're in a strong position with every part of the business. So, you know, estimations, I know it's all right having an estimation, but we just feel like we're in the right place at the moment. Moved into a new warehouse, which allows us to set up everything going forward. So we don't know where it's going to go, but we're just enjoying.
You need to also have that drive and goal, but also have that vision. Have an idea where you think you could take it as well at the same time, and you need them targets in any business you do.
Well, again, we are now getting investors offers constantly, which we're not interested in. No. We're interested in no investment. The only thing me and Dan have discussed, because I'm sure, like you'll know, we've had a brief conversation regarding how far can we take it.
Yeah.
Like you'll know, it's becoming more stressful.
Yeah.
Because the numbers are getting bigger. So they're the obstacles of cash to keep the business growing at that rate, which we believe at the minute we're okay with, but it's becoming more stressful for us both. Yeah. You know, we're just getting to that stage now where we're using every family member is pretty much working for us. We try to keep it family because it's our own story, which is brilliant. So we're just really now getting into them serious, which we've never been involved in before, the kind of business moves, shall we call them.
This is the other question I'm going to ask you. So what advice do you have for other business owners and directors running a business, whether or not obviously they're doing well, they're struggling, either or, what advice would you have for somebody?
where we've probably become more stronger in that, I'd say the last 6 months, where I feel like we've lost a lot of money in the past due to not really understanding numbers and margins. So I really feel like you've got to understand your margins. I think that's really, really important. And really leaving money on the table. And with that, I can't really like to say I'd give any good advice, because I don't really, you know, we only know our market that we're in, and we're still learning. We're learning every day. I mean, as you'll probably know, where we struggle with now is the money sounds great, but it's everything that you're paying out also.
Obviously, we're talking about how CAPO's evolved from a small brand into a big business. How do you prioritise things like your family life? Because I know you got kids.
Yeah.
And it's not easy.
No.
I'm in the same boat. Having children running a business. How do you prioritise your day? How does that work for you?
Yeah. Oh, my kids. If you ask my kids that, I'd say my dad does me head in.
Yeah.
100%. It's very difficult. I think the wife's very understanding now. Like I've said, we basically use all our family. So you've got my wife's working there, my mum's working there, Dan's mum's working there, Dan's grandma, auntie, uncle soon. It's so with that, I think they all see the same mission. We're on the same mission together, which is brilliant. I mean, we wouldn't have it any other way. It's our story. And I think they've got to be understanding, and I fully believe as well that they can see what we're doing, and they can see the rewards you do get from it. You do get rewarded if it becomes obviously successful. But the kids, my little boy's just been signed for an academy playing football, so he works with me in the warehouse on a Saturday, which he's not too best pleased about. The daughter causes carnage in there, runs around, messing around constantly, and then really any spare time we do have, unfortunately we do go to work. But if they want nice things, they're going to have to, you know.
But even like your little boy sign up to academy, that's investment time into your little boy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I say this, I explain it to him now, even though he's only 9. I say, listen, you work hard on the football pitch, or you work hard in anything in life. If you're going to be work at a car wash, be the best at doing what you do. So really, I'm hoping it teaches him the valuable lesson is that dad works hard, mum works hard. I've got to work hard to have a nice life. So, but yeah, going back to that, sometimes they're not best pleased when they get dragged in the warehouse on a Saturday. But it is what it is. Do you know what I mean?
So does that mean that obviously you will now have to start looking outside the family remit in regards to staffing?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? Because you've never been there.
Yeah, no. To be honest, it's been a conversation recently. We're looking at taking about 3 or 4 people in the next couple of months. What makes a business, doesn't it, really? So we're going to have to take them decisions. That it's going to be different for us, because you and I think a lot of big brands, how it originally started, or brands, if it doesn't matter if it's a window place or a bakery or something, I believe you always start with your family. It'll be what it is. Hopefully, like you know yourself. You need to make sure you get the right staff members in, and also around. We're at a stage now where we need to bring people into the business who are better than at what we don't do.
Yeah.
We need help. Every business needs help. It's good that you know that for us to keep growing, because the market is competitive. You've got to stay up with the fashion of things. You've got to have new ideas, and hopefully we're bringing the right people who will help CAPO go to the next level we need to do.
Well, obviously it comes back down to, again, as a business owner, you're good at what you're good at.
Yeah.
But it's having the right people around you to help grow your business to the next level.
Yeah.
Now, you've got certain people, and sometimes you've got to sit back and think, well, hold on a minute, I'm not the greatest at, I don't know, packing bags or boxes or whatever it's going to be, but John is great at that.
Yeah.
So that is John's job, and that's what John's going to do. And I'm going to do what I'm good at, is propelling the brand, growing the business, and go from there.
Yeah.
Do you feel as though, obviously, from your perspective, it would be difficult to let that go as well at the same time?
Yeah.
Because it is your baby. Let's be serious 100%. About the situation.
Yeah, 100%. It is. It's true. There's only going to be so many more times I can continue to pack the orders. With people, I don't do it. We do it together. But also, we're trying to bring, we'll probably try and, obviously people who's close to us and who know us and who know we trust. We'll hopefully try and use, some friends, and give obviously other people opportunities. Like we love to give people opportunities, and we feel like we're very good to people to work for. We have a laugh, we have a good environment. And let's be honest, what we do laugh about is that 80% of our staff are 70 plus, so I don't think they can keep chipping away at packing orders and doing stock checks for the remainder of the time. So it's a big part. It's the big next step with the numbers we are potentially going to hit and where it is going now. The months are becoming harder. We're doing 7 days. I can't keep doing 7 days.
No, you can't.
And we're getting to the stage now where I think I went on one holiday last year and the wife was like, I had 7 days off last year and she's not best pleased. No. And so it's like we have to be able to take a step back knowing the business can still run and run smooth. So that's a big concern, but that's, like we just said, it's the next kind of step to bring.
I think you have to do that. You need some time for yourself as well, but also you have to entrust people within your business to get on with certain things, because you can't always be looking over your shoulder, because you never grow your business to the next level, really. With CAPO, and obviously you've got to be on the front foot in regards to the brand, what's going on in the fashion world, what's going on around you. How do you keep up to date with things such as the fashion world and what's going on and what your next product's going to be? Yeah,
well, to be fair, that's it's just all product research, and you know what? That's what Dan, business partner, is brilliant at. That's probably which has surprised us both, to be honest, because we've had numerous conversations. We've had investors come in to the warehouse just unannounced, and they've asked for meetings with us and spoke to us. And we've had 2 sales agents recently contact them. They're interested in taking us wholesale, but we're a bit sceptical of it at the minute. I know people would say, "Oh, you'd be stupid because it's a lot of money and it's easy money." Well, I don't know about easy, but I mean you get stock in and you basically, because it's your brand, you send stock out. There's a great option for us to do that, but we don't really want to sprint before we can just jog. Does that make sense? It's not a marathon. It's not sprint. So we're a little bit. We take our time. We don't bring out a mass amounts of new lines. We like to bring out maybe 2 or 3 new lines every couple of months. Which, if you look at it, that's not a lot compared to a lot of brands. But we don't have that power. We don't have the power, but I feel that works for us also because we take our time in what we do, release instead of just bringing willy-nilly out and rushing things. But yeah, to be fair, we don't have no design team.
I think that helps with obviously where you're going as a business. You're not trying to propel yourself from A to Z overnight. It's a natural growth, which then makes it more sustainable as a business, because then what you're not doing is you're not reaching above and beyond where you can go, where you want to go to from day one, and that's going to take a lot of investment and time and effort, which right now you don't have. Let's be serious about the situation. No. But you will get there through your natural growth strategies, is what you're doing at the moment. And things such as obviously having agents or having celebrities wear your brand will naturally grow your brand even more and more over the next coming years. I
feel like we thought that the wholesale, it was one of them things where if you would have asked me this 5 years ago, I would have snapped your hands off going into wholesale, especially some of the shops we've been spoke about, flannels, Tessuta. But it's also that we really like to make sure every decision we take is the right decision. And it's not just about the money. No. It's not just about the money. Hopefully that'll come at the end, whenever, right at the end. But it's the decisions have got to, we take our time with what we do. Like I just said, going back to the product, we design everything ourselves. Now you might look at the brand and some of the lines going, well, it's not really rocket science, but it's more the material and the research that goes into the material, the fitting, which is key. Because if you get the fitting wrong, you're getting returns. If the product's not right, you're getting returns. We have a very, very good return rate, which is also massive in our clothing, sector. So again, just we try to keep it simple but effective, really effective. We have so many products now where we've had the same products for 2 and 3 years, and because we like to keep it quite plain and not over, in your face, should we say, they continue to sell.
Well, something what you said there, which made a big point with myself, is that you've now got a choice what you do, with who you do it with, which you've never really had previously. And then that actually gives you more control of where you're going to drive your business as well at the same time. Now, having that choice, it puts you in a position as a business owner of several options, several choices, and then you've got extra pressure of making the right decision as well at the same time. Do you feel as though that is additional pressure on you as an individual with your meetings you have, your business partner?
Yeah, this again, like you just said, I mean, we would have loved, we never, let's be honest, we say it all the time, we absolutely laugh our heads off, and between me and him, we say, how have we actually done this?
Yeah.
You know, I walk into this new warehouse now, and even it's not wore off yet, and I don't think it will. You walk in and you go, how have we actually done this? From
but don't downplay that.
No, we're not downplaying it. I mean, what people haven't seen, like I've tried to give you a little brief of them days when we originally bought the hats. We're never going to make no money on a hat.
No.
What the price we're paying, the t-shirts where we've had to pull off the embroidery on the back of, the tracksuits that we've had to throw in the bin because the product's not good enough. It's all kind of your own story that's brilliant, and the reason why it has worked is because we didn't quit. We knew we had you gained a little bit of luck on the way, but you earn your own luck. And we work ridiculously hard, and all that kind of factors into where it's at now. So even though we have a laugh about it, we fully know, and we get told quite a lot, that we've done unbelievable. And let's again, like I said to you, I think we've started this off of £1,500. And you know, I'd love to know what CAPO's potentially worth now, or in the next 12 to 24 months.
The ultimate question here is, what would you do differently as a business owner if you could start over again? Yeah,
really looking back now, and I know it's easy to do that. It's easy to say, sorry. Would have took more time on the product. Okay. And it sounds crazy to say it's a clothing brand. But yeah, we would have done a lot more research. We would have learned the numbers a little bit better. We would have I would have looked back at what's sustainable, i.e. your shipping and how you get your orders across, if it's international, if it's, wherever you're getting your products from. And probably just would have took a little bit more time, because we easily, I wouldn't like to even give, a silly estimation, but we must have wasted £25,000 within the first 2 years on really not good product. Which is the key. Now you look back, we don't even really like to waste, £1,000, never mind £25,000 then. So really, for anybody, take your time, learn your craft, understand the game you're going into. And really, that's probably the biggest what I've seen. I've watched a few podcasts recently. I'd say really learn your margins in anything. That doesn't have to just be clothing. Really learn your margins of how the business is going to be sustainable, and it has the potential to grow.
Comes down to your bottom line. So your turnover is vanity, and profit is where it's all about. Your bottom line.
And when you say these numbers, when you get estimated, or the numbers we've done last year, you look at it after it goes filtered. Wow, where's the money gone? But no, but listen, it's all part of it. Like we wouldn't swap. I genuinely now, and I always say, would you change anything? Yeah, we'd change a lot, but we're glad we haven't. Because obviously we're glad it's happened, because if it wouldn't have happened then, it might have happened. It might have happened now, and CAPO wouldn't be where it's at today, and we personally wouldn't be the people we are today, or know what we now know today. And it's quite nice, like we're saying it now, it's our story, which is it don't matter. I have no issues, and I say this to people, and I really mean it. If CAPO went bust within 2 years' time, so what? From the level we started with £1,500 to the level we're at now, I don't see many people doing that, and that's not bigging myself up. It's just what we've done, and I think we do. It's been quite amazing where we've got it to from where we started. So it's your own story, which is nice. It's
a fantastic story,
from
start to finish, really. So it's been absolutely fantastic to have you on our podcast, which is Beyond the Business.
Appreciate it.
I can only imagine where you're going to be in the next 12 to 18 months. So I think it would be great to catch up with you then as well.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Adam.
Thank you.